Hi, a very good evening to all of you. Today we are going to see a table in this academic task one, especially the table. We have a lot of statistical information to compare. Now we have 2 years, and those 2 years are in the past frame. You know that the time frame is in the past. It's 2003 and 2004. This is in the past frame. Now I can say that we can see four sectors: manufacturing, building, commerce, and services. Here we have skilled workers, here we have unskilled workers, here we have technical and managerial staff. So all these are percentage of employers, those who are giving jobs to people. So how many employers face the problems in finding skilled workers from the manufacturing sector in 2003? If there was 100 employers, 45 of them faced the problem. The problem worsened in 2004 when it went up to 51%. So more than half of the employers found it difficult to find skilled workers from manufacturing sector in 2004. When compared to skilled workers, finding unskilled workers was easy. And when compared to both skilled and unskilled workers, finding technical and managerial staff was easy. So certain things we need to find out. We need to understand the story behind the picture. And we understood that a lot of people, a lot of employers face problem in finding skilled workers in these particular sectors: manufacturing, building, and commerce and services. A lot more employers compared to unskilled workers. It is compared to managerial staff and technical staff. It is difficult. It was difficult for them to find skilled workers from manufacturing, building, commerce, and services sector. This is the picture we can see. And one more thing is that when you take commerce in particular from the group manufacturing, building, services, you can see that is an increasing trend. Everywhere we have an increasing trend, except in the case of commerce. In commerce sector, whether in the commerce sector, less employers found the difficulty. When in 2003, it was 47%. In case of skilled workers, it went down to 41%. In case of unskilled workers, it was 22, it went down to 19%. So this is what we can say here. Now, let's difficulty in finding managerial staff. You can say that very less employers found it difficult to find managerial and technical staff when compared to unskilled or skilled workers. And you can say one thing in particular: not even an employer faced difficulty in finding a technical and managerial staff in case of commerce, in the field of commerce sector. So a lot of information is there in the table. We can see some trends, we can see some main stories which we need to convey. We need to report these things to in particular words. We need to report these things. So this is not an easy task here. Actually, when you do a process diagram, or when you do a pie chart, or when you do a bar chart, it's comparatively easy. But when you go ahead with a table, you have a lot of calculations and a lot of stories there. So we know we can see more number of figures. You can say year number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So even though it is 2 years, now we have these things categorized into 6. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. These many figures are there to compare. So it is not actually an easy task for a candidate to calculate all these things. So let's see how we can present this particular table. The table portrays the disparity in the proportion of employers who face challenges in finding staffs in 2004 when compared to 2003. Okay. So the table illustrates, or it gives an account on the disparity in the proportion of employers who face the challenges in finding staff in the year 2004 when compared to 2003. That's it. The introduction is clear. Overall, it is clear that enrolling technical and managerial staff work was easier in the second year than finding both skilled and unskilled staffs, with an exemption in the sector of commerce. I do can have another overview here. Let me go with that. Overall, I can just copy paste it and let's see. Overall, it is clear that the worst difficulty for the employers was to find skilled workers when compared to unskilled technical and managerial staff. Okay, so I have made a different overview here. It was here like this. Overall, it is clear that enrolling technical and route for overseas was easier in the second year than finding both skilled and unskilled worker, with the exception in the sector of commerce. So I just have made it simpler. It's clear that the worst difficulty for the employers was to find skilled workers when compared to unskilled, technical and managerial staff. Now, it's clear. So this is the worst difficulty. The worst difficulty is here when compared to this thing and this thing. So I made it very simple there. As per the table in 2003, when an average of 41 to 47% job givers encountered the issue in recruiting skilled workers in 2003. Okay. I repeated this thing. Okay. As per the table in 2003, when an average of 41 to 47% job givers encounter the issue in recruiting skilled workers. Now, I have formulated an idea 41 to 47%. This is the range here. So I don't need to write all the figures. So I have kept it in a range 41 to 47. In case of unskilled workers, it ranged from 20 to 26, 20 to 26, it's there. In 2004, these rates rose to 41 to 51 percentage, 41 to 51 percentage, and 19 to 29 percentage, 19 to 29 percentage respectively. So we have categorized these things into two groups. So a range is got this compared. We know that each individual figure is not compared, and it cannot be compared because it's a large data. We have a lot of information here. It's impossible for a candidate to calculate everything and write it on the sheet of paper. So instead, what we do is that we have given a range, and from this range, a range is given and the range is compared there. So that is comparatively easier than going with individual figures. However, within this data, you know that within this data, this data, within this data, it's also clear that they did find it easier to find both skilled and unskilled workers in the commerce sector. So in the commerce sector, they found it easier. In 2004, punctuation, the rates of employers who face this difficulty were 3 to 5 percentage less when compared to 2003. So you can say that it was around, this is around 6%. Here it is around 3. Yeah. Now, yes. So it's not 5%, it is 6%. So the rates of employers who faced this difficulty were 3 to 6% when compared to 2003. So this is the matter. It is given here clear difference. In case of technical and managerial staff, the percentage of employers who found the staff shortage ranged between 2 and 14. Yes, it's 2 and 14. In case of technical and managerial staff, the percentage of employers who found staff shortage ranged between 2 and 14. 2 and 14 in 2003. And the least difficulty was reported from commerce sector. Yes. So you can say 2 and 14 here in 2003. And the least difficulty was in the field of the sector of commerce. The situation got better in 2004. So you know that the situation got better in the sense they did find easy to find the the employees for their work. When not even a single employer faced this issue from the same sector, that is from the commerce sector, not even a single employee or not even a single employer faced this challenge. And the rate of those who face this issue went down by an average of 3%. You can say 2 here, 4 here, 2 here, 3 here. So average of 3%. It went down when compared to 2003. You can say it's an average of 3%. There was a decline in uh, by 3%. So this is what this particular task is dealing with. Now we have some figures here, but still we can see an estimate of the words. We have around 185 to 190 words here. So that's the end of the explanation here.